Yeah, so with the knowledge of the CMS, we can talk about the differentiate, or like the like how a static website is different from a dynamic website. So static in the sense it illustrates it something is not changing, or like changing for a like change in like after a very long time, right? Not like a frequent one, right? So if the website's content is like changing after a long time, or if it is not being changed, we call those website a static website. So the objects on it are not that dynamic on some particular aspects, right? So if you think about a social media, those web pages are never be categorized as a static websites or static web pages. It is because those are the web pages which are changing in a very frequent manner if you think about the modern world, right? So when it comes to the static web pages or static websites, those are something that's not going to change their content frequently, right? So whenever like for a long time, if you are like visiting to the same website, it's going to be the same content, right? So in this kind of like creating this kind of website can be done easily using a small text editor or some simple web authoring tools like we learn, like Composer and all these things. Because it's a one time code. Once you have written the code, you are not going to touch that code for a long time, right? But when it comes to the dynamic websites, the stories getting different, or like stories getting changed. When it comes to the dynamic website, dynamic means changing, right? So when it comes to the dynamic concept, the pure HTML will not help us fully to maintain a dynamic website. We need HTML anyway to create the web pages. It is the base, but just HTML is not sufficient, right? Because there are like when it comes to the static web pages or static websites, it is maintained by the person who is developing the website, right? But the users, they can only visit to that particular website and they just get the information by reading it or by seeing something. But when it comes to the dynamic website, not only the developer as well as the user is changing, or like he is also involved in to change the contents of a website. If you think about a social media, like there will be contents from the developers, like if you think Instagram.com, so the Instagram.com will be posting some things onto your web page. So there will be some settings, some fonts, some particular posts, as well as in most of the ways, the users are the people who changes the appearance as well as the changes the content of a website. It is rapidly updating, right? You are putting a comment, I'm putting a comment, I'll post my some particular photos, someone else posts there some particular photos. So like at a second, that web page is changing in thousand different ways, right? So those kind of websites cannot be made only with the help of the HTML. HTML is needed as a base, as well as they need some other dynamic contents or dynamically changing contents on their website. So to create those kind of content, they need those kind of technologies, right? So the examples that they have given here: PHP, hypertext preprocessor, ASP.NET, active server pages, JSP, Java server pages. Those are some of the things which will help the developers to develop a dynamically changing website, right? So the content of the website is changing frequently. That is why it is called dynamic website. And it can be, or it can be achieved with the technologies like PHP, ASP.NET, JSP with HTML, right? And again, since uh, the interaction with the website is a little bit complex when it comes to the dynamic websites, users, the changes that the users will do will be like big in number if you consider about a one moment of a dynamic website. So since the complexity is there because of the users, specifically because of the users, the people who are developing this, sorry, people who are developing this are not used to develop the website from the scratch, right? They are not going to take a notepad and type the HTML and do the changings and do this PHP and all these technologies inside it. They are not going to do like that because it's going to be a very lengthy work if they are going to uh, like make it from the scratch, right? And it's going to be again very not very impractical. It's very hard to attend that kind of a service if you are doing it just by coding all the things, right? So due to that, when they need to create a dynamic website, they use a CMS, content management system. So content management system is the one which facilitates the developer to do less work and to have the dynamic interactive website for the users, right? So when they have a CMS, when the developers are having the CMS, the main structure is already being created through the CMS. I'll show you one today, right? So when you are receiving the CMS, the content is already being created on like content in the sense the places where you need to edit with the content are already been created, like the banners, the buttons, the menus, the articles, the posts, all these things are like pre-created. So what you have to do is you have to edit that component according to your requirement. If you are a developer, if you are just creating a website, let's say for the healthcare sector for some particular hospital, and that hospital is given the chance for the patient to comment on their services, and that particular website may be producing reports through that to the users. So those are some dynamic stuffs. So when the hospital need to create a particular dynamic website for themselves, what the web developer can do is he or she can purchase or like can download some particular structure which can be handled by a CMS, which we call a template. Then it can be edited according to the requirement, right? So that is the best way of maintaining a dynamic website without having a lot of hard work on the code. So they have shown you a small image of which specify what is the picture of the static website as well as what's going to be when it comes to the dynamic websites. So in a static websites, the client or the browser, the people who are using that website uh, will be at one particular end, and the web server will be at the other particular end. So it's kind of a server and client structure. And when it comes to the dynamic one, the database server is a critical part of that particular website because there are huge amount of data flowing into the website, as well as at the same time another huge amount of data can be communicated from the server to the client as well. So to maintain this huge data inside it, they are specifically maintaining a database server. So the database server can contain all these big transactions, all these big comments and all these things inside it. Then later it can communicate with the server accordingly. Right, people, have you got the idea about the static and the dynamic? Yes, everyone? Okay, right. Let's quickly write down the dynamic and the static websites. Then I can show you how a CMS is going to work when we are creating a dynamic website. All right. So have the heading static websites and dynamic websites. And you may write this particular one. Then we can go with the static website subheading. Yeah, the first paragraph, we need that entirely, people. People, I'm moving a little bit downwards slowly. If you miss anything, just let me know, people. I'm just moving it down. Okay, are we done with this, people? Moving a little bit upward. Oh, the rest of the things are in the other page. So anyone who is still writing this? Okay, so moving forward. And once you are done with the writing, you may draw this small diagram, right? This one. Okay, are we done, people? Clearly mention these the types of these architectures, the static one, the dynamic one, and the dotted line is indicating like how the servers are being arranged with a dynamic website. So additional to the what you call the static website, it's the database server that the dynamic website contains specifically. Right. So I'm moving forward. So here we go. And let's see how the CMS is helping for us to have these HTML, PHP, JavaScript, CSS kind of things to build up a dynamic website. Right. So far, we have created web pages, which are the examples for the static websites. So now we are going to learn how to do things, or like how to create a website in a dynamic manner. Now, first of all, there are something for you to understand, as I taught you last week as well. Now, when it comes to the dynamic websites, it doesn't matter whether it is dynamic or static actually. There should be a particular place that our website is holding in the internet. Right? So if we think about the internet, let's say this is the internet. So internet is having some kind of a place which can hold the web pages. So as the clients, what we are doing is we use our PCs, right? And we are just visiting to those through the PCs. We are just visiting to these websites. That means whatever this web server, we call this a web server, right? So whatever the web server is holding, those will be communicated to our PC when this particular PC request, they request a particular website, then the web server will deliver it or respond for it. Right. So if we are trying to experience a CMS in our computer, either we should have a real-time example to understand that. Real-time example means we need a separate web server like this. We need our computer. So these are two separate devices to understand how it works. And or else, since we cannot have that real-time experience for everyone, what they have done is they have created particular softwares which is capable of creating a server environment in the same client computer. That means in my computer, even I can create a server environment. Now in real world, server is a separate place or a separate computer, right? As I told you, it holds all the web pages, or not all actually, the web pages that particular website needs. So since we cannot buy a server, or since we cannot connect with the server's backend, what they have done is they have created a particular software. So at the same PC, the same computer, they are creating a particular environment which working as a server. So this portion of the computer is considered as the server side, and rest of the things are called the client side. Right? In a normal computer, we won't be able to do this, to create both client and server environments, right? Without installing a third-party software, which is not possible, right? So to create these kind of virtual environment or virtual server environments, we have these kind of softwares, which you call the WAM, XAMPP kind of things, right? So now what I'm going to show you is I have installed that kind of a server into my computer over here. So what I'm about to show you is like how that particular server environment is helping me to manage or like helping me to understand a dynamic website, right? So let me see, hold on. So what I'm doing is I'm going to show you the XAMPP software. So I have already installed it. So you can download this from the internet. It's it's free. It's a free and open source software. So once you install the XAMPP, we have to run the XAMPP, right? Like I'm running over here. So when you are running the XAMPP, this particular control panel is given to you. And there you got two things called Apache and MySQL over here, right? So those two services need to be started at least to satisfy the virtual server or like a unreal server inside our computer, which act as a real server. So I'm starting the Apache service. I'm starting the MySQL, the database related one. Oh, some errors are here. So let me fix it. There are certain services that I need to disable. One is called the MySQL. Yeah, so once I'm done with that, I can start this. Right, so when you start it, you can see the green color highlights, or maybe the color can be changed, but somehow the Apache and MySQL is up and running. So the buttons have changed into stop, and the other buttons are staying there until it is being started. So now what I'm doing is, what I have done already is I have installed one of the CMS called Joomla into my computer, right? So I have installed it into the server that I have created manually, the server environment, which is the SAM. So to access that, what I can do is I can move to the local host. Local host means the server environment, right? And then I need to go to the Joomla. Right, let's see whether it is working. Let me check out this first particular thing. Yeah. Now this is kind of a place or a particular website that I have created using the Joomla. Right, so let me see the administrator part. Hold on. Yeah. Yes, so once you install the Joomla, if you have this address, what is your address? Localhost /Joomla/administrator. Once you said enter, you will be taken into this particular place from your computer. This is nothing to do with internet people, right? I have installed the Joomla into the XAMPP server, the server that I have started. And I'm just showing you the task that you can do through a CMS in an offline manner. So once you log in, once you are having an online platform for Joomla that is in real world, all you have to do is the things that we are experiencing from offline, you can practice it from online as well, right? When it is the real world example comes. So yeah, I'm going to give the username and the password. Oh, there you go. Oh, let me find the password over here. Oh, yes. Yes. So when you have provided the username and the password for the Joomla, now it is being loaded onto your browser, right? So this is the place which allow us to create our dynamic website. And when it is asked you to, like, when you are asked to create a dynamic website over here, so these are the facilities that is given by the CMS to create the dynamic web pages. So you can have users, you can create articles, modules, plugins, medias, and all these things, right? So what you have to do is, when you are creating a website through a CMS, it has its specific appearance when it comes to the content management systems. We call them the templates, right? So template is one particular thing which help us to create a structure of the website, right? So if I go to the contents, we can find articles, categories, those kind of things, featured articles, fields, field groups, many different kind of things are there. As well as there are menus and the components are there, and some user level settings are there. Like, so you can appoint a particular administrator to this website, and some handlers, some coders, right? So those are going to be different kind of users. In the way that I have provide the username and password to log into this, those people can also be given a particular username and a password to log into the system and do their own work. They won't be able to do all the works that the CMS is allowing them to do, because it is a particular maintenance or like particular privileges, which is done by the username and the password. And when the programmer is logged into the login from their username and password, they will be given some essential components for them to manage their website, right? And so the place that I am is called the home or the dashboard, right? And I have already set up my website over here, which I gave the name as star.lk, right? So this is the place, the star.lk is going to show. So like you can see, like they have created a main menu at my right hand side. So it has first page, second page. We have created something called tiger page, right? And some login form is here to provide username and the password. So if you don't want these components, you can get rid of these, right? So it's the template that we are receiving over here. So according to that template, this appearance is given to us. We are not working on the appearance. We are just working on the content that is going to be on the page, right? Okay, so from this server end, we call this the server end of Joomla. So once we have done some changes over here, that change will be seen through here, right? So that is how it works. So I'll show you a few things regarding this, right? Since this is a little bit advanced thing for you to experience. There are something called main menu. Main menu is this particular component that you can see. This is the place where the CMS is allowing you to navigate through your pages. So once I click on this, the pages will be loaded onto the left of yours that you can see. So if you want to have a different web page, now so far I'm having 1, 2, 3, and 4 web pages. If you want to have another web page over here, first what you have to do is you have to modify the main menu to have that web page onto the main menu, right? Or like to have a link to that particular page onto the main menu. And to create a particular link to any particular web page, there should be a web page as well, right? Just creating the link will not give you a particular web page. So you have to create the web page. Then later you can upload it to the server and connect it with the content management system, right? So to do that, to add a main menu item, we need the tab called main menu, the item called main menu. And to configure some particular detail or some particular component with that main menu item, we need articles to manage that particular thing. All right. So all right, so here comes the articles. So you can go to the articles by visiting to the content and clicking on the articles. So you can see I have created 4 pages over here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? So this is the place where you are given the chance to create a particular web page using the articles. Right? So what you are going to do is, if you want a new one, you can hit on the new button. So it will give you a place to create your article like this. So you have to give a particular name. So I'm going to give page 5. Right? And I can insert the particular objects that is regarding the my web page over here. So this area is kind of a web authoring tool. Right? You can see lots of symbols over here, which is there to manage your work, right? So I can create it, any particular content over here. So let's say we are creating something like ICT. So like likewise, and I can make this bold. I can make it center aligned. I can increase the font size. If I want, I can change the way that it's going to appear, as well as I can give some colors to this. That I can find the colors. So, yeah, here. Right. So likewise. Right. So you can manage it. Yes. So the fonts will be limited in most of the cases. Right. So underneath this, let's say I'm going to put a picture, right? So I can insert a picture by clicking the picture icon over here. And I can specify the source. Right, usually there should be a browsing button over here, but it does not shows generally. Or else I can drag and drop my picture in a very easy manner. So yeah, let's say I'm going to drag and drop this. So when the yeah, they are asking an alternative text for my picture. So I say cover page. And press save. There you go. So it is just there. And I can arrange the size of this just by clicking and editing the stuff. All right, so likewise. And then I can make this left align. And I can say, let's say future is here. Right, and if you want different colors, you know where to find it. Right, you can have it like this. So likewise, you can have, if you want to have a small video, right? Let's say this small video is going to be inserted. And yeah, for some reason it is not been added. Let's see why. And again, if you want to see the code of this, your creation, you can go for the, yeah, there is a tool which shows the code. Let me check. This one. So this is the source code that they have set. Right. So you have these kind of things. So if you want to change something on the page, you can change it from here as well. If you say with these 400 for the particular image, and I'm taking out the height. If I press save, so the image is getting a little bit smaller, right? So likewise, you can add different kind of things on here. I wonder why the media is not here. Just let's say. I'll take this path of this. Let me see. Or else we can go for the media. Yeah, so whenever you are done with this, done means like if even though you are partially completed, it's better you can say save. So it will save the things onto the server. And once you click save and close, it will close and come to the place that you are dealing with. And I'm opening the page 5 in a different tab. Now my page 5 is over here. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to add a media. Right, so these are the medias that I have taken already. So I can add a media to this point. So then it can be used, right? So I'm uploading my small video right over here. So it is been uploaded, right? This is the one it says. So I can get a link. I'm just taking the name from that, and I'm going to the place over here, and I'm trying to apply this. And I'll say save. If I see the preview, yes. If I change my code into media slash whatever the name they are going to give. Oh yes, now I can see the see my media over here. Let me see. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to place it at the bottom of my page. So let me take it from here. Where is this is starting? It's starting from here. And it says from here. You need a little, what you call, experience to do these kind of things, people. So once I say save, yeah, it will be here. All right. So I will save and close this thing. So now my page 5 is there. Now, but I can't access my page 5, or like rather my users will not be able to access page 5 because there is no link for page 5 in the main menu. So to do that, I need to go to the main menu, and I have to handle the main menu to have a new particular page. So I'll create in a new menu item. Let's call that menu item the video clip page. You can give any particular name, and you have to select what's going to be, like what you're going to access through that menu item, right? So that means if you are adding things to this side, so you have to say which one that you are going to access. All right, so from that I have to select. I'm selecting an article because I have created the article, and I'm going to select single article. Right, so once I select single article, they say, okay, you choose what is your single article, like what's the article that you're going to use. Now they know the mod is a single article, so they're asking what, there are many articles and which one that you are going to choose. So I can select over here. Now I can see my page 5 on this particular place. So I click on the page 5 and it takes page 5 to this particular page. And then I'm going to say save and close. Once I have done that, over here, if I refresh this, now I can see the video clip page link over here. So once I click on that, there you go. The video is not played for some reason, people. So, but we can add pages into this likewise. All right. So there are many changes that you can do through this, right? So first of all, you have to learn it slowly, all right? Then you can manage the way it's going to behave here, right? So yeah, so that is the way that the CMS is going to manage. There are many components that you can add using these modules and plugins. You can do various kind of beautiful things to your web page, but only thing you have to learn it little by little, right? But it is in our syllabus. It's not there for you to teach all these things. We are there to like introduce you what kind of what is a CMS software is, right? So it's like that, people. Right. So I was just trying to maintain, yeah, the template that we have. Let me just check for that. Yeah, hold on. Oh, yes, there's something called templates. It's under the system, right? So I can go, let's go and see to the site templates. Yeah, this is the only template that they are providing for us. So like for the moment, my website is like this. I'll try to apply this template. I can see the template preview from here. Yeah, that's the template that I'm using for the moment. Right, so it's the only template that they have given us. Right, so yeah, when you come here, you can apply many more other templates into this. There are certain ways that you can take templates into your computer. First of all, you have to download a particular theme, and then you have to upload that particular theme to have this kind of a template in as your website, right? So just surf. It will be a good thing for you to practice. right? There are many ways, many things that you can do through these kind of CMSs. People, did you got the idea like how a CMS is working? Right? It's not only HTML. There are many things for you to learn, and it's easy to maintain if when you know the flow. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. So I'm going to log out from this point. Yeah. So that is how the content management system is working. I'll show you how I am maintaining my website through the Joomla. It is also done by the Joomla. All right. So right now, what you are logging in is a real-time thing, right? So my website, as the earlier one shows, if I click on this, my real-time website is given. So if I do any changes over here, it will update automatically through over here. All right. So yeah, I'll show you a small changes that are what I can do through here. So I'll go for my articles, and yeah, there are many articles over here. I'll yeah, where I'm going to visit. Can visit to the home article. Hold on. Yeah. So this is my home article. So as you can see in my home page, there is a particular timetable. So that timetable is maintained by this particular article. So if I change it like if I change this into 223, and if I change this into the Python, right? And the Python is going to be unit 9. Say this is English medium. Right, and I'm saving this. And look what happens. Now here in my actual web page, it's something called A-Level 2024 English medium. Right, and unit 5 topic networking is here. Once I refresh this, now these changes will apply. It will become 2023 English medium. So English medium Saturday morning, it's going to go like that. This 2024 is going to become 2023. Here I'm refreshing. There you go. Right. So if you access the Star Labs from your device just now, you can see 2023 as well. Right. So it's a real-time changing. Right. And I'll do some other changes from here as well for you to see. In my this Star Labs recording, can you recognize like the space in between these two images are smaller comparing to the space in between these two images? It is because I need to have a additional space over here. So this is Star Labs recording. So I'll save and close this. and I'll go to my article, which has Star Labs recording, which should be in the previous one. Let me see. Yeah, this is the one, Star Labs recording. So yes, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a small space, another space in between these two. It was the problem that I was having on this web page. So let's see whether this small gap is going to be equal to something like this. Yeah, so it does. So now it is even in everywhere. Right, so likewise, you can do the changes to a real-time, to have the real-time experience when you have a real server, which is referred to yourself, right? So yes, people, so this is the way that we are going to work with the CMSs in maintaining the dynamic websites. Okay, people, are we clear about this? Everyone? Right. So let's quickly write down the final notes regarding the HTML. So yeah, there are some things for you to know regarding the roles related to the web designing. So like there is an author who is designing the interface and all these things in the website. So when it comes to the my website, I'm the author myself, right? So I'm the one who's changing the things, right, for you to see. And the editor is there. Editor is the one who is like writing the codes and checks the errors and rectify those things. So yeah, so like if when it comes to a bigger websites like Wikipedia, Google, Facebook, Instagram kind of things, so there will be separate authors to design the interfaces. There will be separate editors to write the codes and have that interface onto their uh, uh, website, right, and check for the errors. And there will be publishers who are like publishing it. So publishing means like allowing the people to see a particular article. Now, when it comes to this, if I go to my home page, and I told you like this article is the one that I have published over here. So I can go to my settings and I can visit to my home article. And if I click on this correction mark over here, it will unpublish. See, now the home is unpublished, right? So now if I refresh this, you won't see article not found because it has been unpublished. So if I publish this, then it changes. And if I refresh it, you will be able to see it again, right? So that is what you call publishing. So when it comes to a bigger websites, there are many different kinds of publishing that you have to do. So for that, a separate publisher will be there. And administrators are there to manage the, simply to maintain the website, right? As well as the server and the database. And the users are the users that is using the website. That means the people who comes to that, visit to that website all around the world, right? So those are called the roles related to the web design. right? So let's quickly write this down, the roles related to web designing, which is the subheading. And yes, you may write these specific roles that you can see. Let me know when you are done, people. Okay, are we done, people? Anyone who is still writing this? Okay, so moving forward, right? So the last topic is about publishing of a website. Now, most of the things are known by you already regarding this topic. So to publish a particular website, that means like for the, like when we create the web pages from ourselves in our computer, we won't be able to publish those web pages to the outer world, to the users from our computer. We need to find a server space, right? So as well as we need a particular domain name for the outer world or for the world to know about our website, right? So you need a server space that is called a web host and a domain name. And again, you need a web designing software before everything, to create your website. Then this internet connection is obvious, because without internet, you won't be able to, like, no one will be able to connect to your website. And the file transfer protocol is not an essential. It is because the file transferring part is done by the web designing software sometimes, as well as most of the time the web host is giving you the facility to do the file transferring part. In case if they are not providing you the file transferring facility, we need a file transfer protocol to transfer the files that we have created in our computer to the web server that we are using, right? So that's what they are searching over here. So I think I have shown you the Bluehost website last week, where I told you, like, you can go and purchase the server spaces from that kind of particular web hosting, the people who are giving the service of web hosting. So those are called the shared hosts, right? Because we can't own a particular web server by ourselves, right? We can't manage it. It is a little bit complex. So what we can do is we can rent a particular space where the hosting is done. So there are certain organizations, sometimes individuals, who do the hosting services. So we can pay them a particular rent, maybe monthly, maybe annually. So we can purchase that particular hosting space to put our website onto that particular hosting space. So once we put our website on that particular hosting space, people can see that particular server space through the domain name that we have gained. And the companies who are maintaining some complex websites like Google, they have their own web hosting facility. Those are called dedicated hosts, right? So they have a very big area to maintain. They have a separate crew, a separate staff to maintain the server. So those are called the dedicated hosts, all right? And the domain name, as I told you, you have to buy a domain name from the websites like register.lk. I think I have shown you that as well last week, right? So if you visit into the websites like register.lk, you can purchase a particular domain name, right? So once you have those two, then of course you can use a web authoring tool to create your web page, and using the file transfer protocol, you can transfer your web pages to the server that you have purchased or that maybe you have rented. And when the internet connection is there, people will be able to connect with our website, right? So those are the things that you need to publish a particular website, right? And as well as the last part, they are talking about how to maintain a website. So maintaining is taking care of these things, right? So it's better you put your website up to date according to the content that you are going to use. So maybe you have to update it daily, maybe you have to update it weekly, or maybe monthly. So what matters is keeping the website up to date, right? Otherwise, the users will frustrate if you are not updating your website. So then they will not visit to your website, because they know that there is nothing new in the website is going to go, right? So if you think about my website, I am updating the things regarding my videos, right? So that is the frequently used pages of mine. So if I had any particular online class, I'm uploading it as soon as possible to our server. So it will show on this playlist, right? And the other part is, we have to be careful to not to share or not to publish any harmful softwares like viruses. And the other thing is, we should not use the resources from the internet without investigating to whom that resource belongs to. That means like there can be copyright issues for us, right? So like you cannot just take a picture and publish it on your website as your own, right? There are free and open source components or like objects or like images. Those things actually you can use those things, but if a particular product belongs to someone else, you have to cite that particular thing. You have to state from where you have taken this image, then you can use it by giving the credits to the particular original person who have developed it. Or else you have to use some freely available resources, right? As well as if your website is there to use a newer version, so it's better you go with those newer versions because it is the one which updates you with the security aspects as well as the appearance aspects. So if you can see like in my website, if I go to the control panel of mine, they have given me some messages indicating like see view updates are there. All right, so and there are some things that we can manage through the updates, as well as some upgradations will be happen when we have the updates on time, right? Okay, people, so that's all about the HTML lesson. So we have to write small notes regarding the last contents that we were talking about. So by next week I will give those things to you. And we are moving to the very last lesson, since we are like doing a part of this in the next week. Then soon we are going to start the paper discussion, right? So because there is only one lesson to be done, right? Okay, people. So thank you very much. I will see you on next week for the very same time, and we will discuss the very last things and move to the new lesson as well. Right. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice weekend. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.